Welcome to the Know Your Role radio show. All right, time to welcome in our guest for the day, Luke Willson, Super Bowl champion, tight end of your Seattle Seahawks. What's up, Luke? Welcome to the show.
Appreciate it. I like the theme song there.
Is that Know Your Role? That's my alias.
Is that right? I thought that sounded a bit like you.
That's my alias. Well, you know, all sports players want to be rappers / entertainers, and all entertainers kind of still have their love for sports.
Yeah.
Is that kind of somewhat true to you?
You know, sometimes I'll be wishing I could just really be in a band somewhere, jam on the guitar.
You look like you play the guitar, especially with that crazy hair.
Yeah, I feel like I could I got the look. It's the playing part that might be a little bit of a struggle.
So you can't play an instrument?
Not really.
Well, you can catch a football, and that's a good thing too, because a few years ago you were drafted by the Seahawks, but that same summer you got a call from Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah.
And you signed with the baseball team. So what was the process? Well, how was the process different, and why did you choose football?
It was a weird story. I had played a lot of baseball when I was younger, and then kind of stopped, just went straight to the football route. I actually had a broken foot in college from football, and I got a call from the Blue Jays. Like, hey, you still playing baseball? And I was like, I looked down at my cast, I'm like, yeah, I'm playing every day.
Throwing and catching at least.
I hadn't been doing anything. It's been a couple of years. So we got a little time off, and I went down, kind of did a baseball workout, which is a lot different than a football workout, believe me.
They're not time in 40s or
No.
shuttles, right?
I got in the batter's box and hit BP for about 30 minutes.
Yeah. That's what because can you hit a baseball? That's what that was about.
Yeah. And you know what? It's not even that. Can you hit it far? For a guy like me.
So how'd you do?
I'm telling you, I don't know if it was the luckiest day I've had on a baseball field. I was hitting home runs left and right, acting like I'm just normal for me, but inside I was like, oh my God, dude, I'm having a good day.
Let's talk about this offseason, because you and I had a chance to hang out back in your home country too as well. We were up in Canada, we did a little fishing, and some good stories about fishing. So I mean, what was your greatest part about that? And man, we were hanging out in the Gulf of Alaska, and those were some choppy winds we were dealing with. Was that your first time having that kind of fishing expedition?
That was the first time I ever caught fish. So, and since then I've been trying to get out as much as I could. I kind of got the bug right now. But I'll tell you, like you said, being out there one day, I mean, the swells, or whatever you want to call it, were going crazy. We seen a whale about 30 feet away from us. I mean,
was that not the coolest thing though?
It really was. It was
the coolest, scariest thing, I would add.
For sure. And we had a sea lion eat a fish off a rod, and I thought the thing was gonna tip our boat over, man. Of course, our guys looking at me like I'm freaking out. He's like, "Would you relax, man?" I mean, he probably sees it all the time, but again, I had never even caught a fish before, so it was a different world out there.
How was that fly fishing experience?
You know what? It's a little more entertaining than normal fishing because you're always doing something. But
you're just pulling the string.
You know what? But you're throwing it out, you're pulling it in, you're throwing it. It was cool. I mean, the place we're at was beautiful. Unfortunately, that day we didn't run into any fish. So I heard that when you do start running into fly fishing, you can really kind of rack up a lot of catches. But so I don't know if I got the full experience of flying.
Let's say you had a good story to tell.
Yeah.
Hey, Burleson, that was the pride and joy of Canada. But he don't feel like you're like all the way Canadian, man.
Nate, that's a true story. Nate, you know I got nothing but love for you, Nate. And I remember being in high school, being like, man, I didn't know Nate Burleson was Canadian. Wonder what hometown he's from. And I went Googled you up. You know what I'm saying? This is when you were in Detroit, because I was right across the border. It was like, man, he went to high school in Seattle, dude. What do you mean he's Canadian? You know, speaking of that though, not to change subjects, I've been hearing. There was a rumor going around here that when you were in Seattle, you had a suit for every team that you played against. Then this is the bad part about that, Nate. I also heard though that the best dressed group on the team were the DBs.
Oh!